Well, the results today show that the plan that we have with the Bank of England is satisfactory to them. We still have some actions to take that we agreed to last year. But what was really pleasing was that the bank showed such an improvement over the last year and over the last 24 months. And it shows that even under a very severe test of 40% reduction in commercial property, 30-odd% reduction in house prices, doubling of unemployment, the bank would still be in sound condition. And that's something that I've been building since my tenure in the job, to recreate a bank that was secure, that the public of the UK did not have to worry about this bank. And I think today just shows another step forward.
Now, as you say, you've spent a lot of time over the last 4 years detoxifying the bank, offloading toxic assets. I mean, the one big legacy issue you still have is this settlement with the US Justice Department over the mis-selling of mortgage-backed securities. Any clue on when that's going to happen?
Well, unfortunately, there isn't any further discussions going on in there at the moment. It is something that we would like to clean up, and we've said once we have tidied up the Department of Justice fine, that this bank will be back in profit. So it's something that we do want to do as quickly as possible, but unfortunately, not in my time gift.
And of course, bringing it back into profit means, I mean, we heard from Philip Hamm last year, the Treasury is looking to raise $15 billion from selling RBS shares over the next 5 years. That can't go ahead until the DOJ settlement, presumably.
Well, what we showed even in the first 3 quarters of this year, that the bank is a really sound, profitable business, 3 quarters of profit. And once we are through the Department of Justice fine, I think the government is in a very sound position to actually start selling off its shares. It's shown last week, the Chancellor said that he was keen to do that. He believed the bank was in good enough shape to start that process in the 2018 and 2019 fiscal year. And I think that was good news for the public of the UK to know that this bank is in pretty good shape.
Now, the other big legacy issue with which you're still grappling to an extent, Global Restructuring Group. This was your restructuring unit, tipped thousands of small businesses into liquidation. The FCA's published a summary of a report today on what's happened. Should they have published the full report?
Well, I think the summary, which has had a Queen's Counsel look through it on behalf of the Treasury Select Committee, said that the summary did reflect fairly what was in the report. The danger in putting out what we call these S166 reports is once you've put one out, how many do you put out in going forward? So I think that's the reservation as opposed to this specific report. But the report did show quite clearly that we didn't get everything right here. There were some things that we have apologised for. There are some actions that we're taking as far as putting in place a proper complaints process that is sat over the top of by a High Court judge so that we look at every case and say, did we get this right or wrong? And if we got it wrong, putting it right. We've also gone through 3,500 of the customers that were in this global restructuring group and refunded with interest all of the complex fee structures that they paid as well, because again, we weren't comfortable with it. The report showed that we didn't get that right. So we are trying to move forward on behalf of our customers and of the bank. We just didn't get it right.
OK, now what about the outlook for 2018? I mean, we heard some fairly downbeat comments from the Office of Budget Responsibility last night. Morgan Stanley on this show last night said they expect growth to be even lower than that. What are you thinking? Well,
what's been really interesting, the economy has been very robust, even with this uncertainty of Brexit hanging over it. And yes, the report showed for next year probably 1 to 1.2% GDP growth. But I've just been so surprised how resilient the economy has been. The consumers are still feeling pretty good about what's going on. The exporters we see in 2018 will actually kick in because of the lower pound and probably take over some of the work that the consumer has been doing. So probably not as downbeat as many others are about it. As long as we're getting growth in the economy, you've got growth going on in Europe, you've got very strong growth going on in the United States. We trade with these partners, people in these areas, so I don't think it's as bad as people have thought. But look, who knows what could happen if we get a very harsh Brexit.
All right, very briefly, Ross, you've just clocked up 4 years in arguably one of the most gruelling jobs in British business. You were recently linked with a job down under, Commonwealth Bank of Australia. How much longer are you going to be sticking around for?
Well, I'd like to see us through. We've talked about getting the share sale back in place. I'd love to see this bank back paying a dividend to all those shareholders that have been hanging on for such a long period of time. We've got, I think, in my team, some period of time to actually really get this bank back into good form so that the public of the UK are really proud of it again. We've got a lot of work to do around our customers. We're making major changes to the way we're operating the business because our customers' behaviour is changing around branches and those sort of activities as they move more and more digitally. So lots of things to be done as of yet.
All right. Good to see you. We haven't seen the back of you yet. Ross McEwan, thanks for joining me.
Thank you very much.